Uh-oh. Ah, ah, ah. Uh-oh.
Does everybody know what time it is?
Home and podcast time.
That's right. Binford Tools is proud to present a Home Improvement Podcast. My name is Adam. You all know my co-host, Jordan. Hey, Jordan. How are you?
Adam, I'm doing all right. How are you?
Good.
We've squashed our beef since last week, so I don't feel like bringing anything to
Yeah.
light or anything like that. I did notice you have a sweet denim jacket on today. You
Yeah.
want to talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, sure. Yeah. I have a couple denim jackets.
I don't feel like I can pull off a denim jacket, so I'm just impressed. It looks
If
good.
you can put one on, you can pull it off. It's just a matter of kind of getting. You got to get past
Confidence.
Yeah, you got to get past the idea that you think you can't. This one is a Planet Hollywood denim jacket that I bought used. It's I don't know which location, but and it has Planet Hollywood like buttons, and then it has a huge Planet Hollywood thing embroidered in the back. So
You a big fan of that restaurant?
I really was growing up. Yeah, I hold really positive memories of Planet Hollywood. It was like my favorite place to go on vacations when I was young because it combined the film memorabilia and shitty food. So overpriced bad food.
How many? I've only been to one that I can remember. The one obviously in Disney.
Yeah.
And I remember, too, having a pretty high approval rating of it when I was younger.
Yeah.
And also, it felt like it was always more busy than it should be, especially going now and seeing it now and realizing that it's, like, not actually that cool. But
is it still open? I didn't know that there
it's
were
still
any.
open.
Okay.
They've redesigned it.
Okay.
They've redesigned all of that area.
There's
so that
not very many left. So that's why I didn't know.
it looks like an observatory now. That's how on the
sounds
outside.
Cool. Yeah, I remember going to the one in Chicago. I've been to one in Orlando. I think I probably went to one in Las Vegas as well. I kind of Planet Hollywood hop, locale to locale.
That's how you decide your vacation spots.
If I ever get kind of down on my parents or whatever, I think like, oh man, I don't think my parents love me as much as they should. I got to remember all those times it took me to Planet Hollywood because it is not good food. It is not inexpensive, and it's always pretty crowded, so you got to wait. So I appreciate that, Mom and Dad. That's for sure.
And they are definitely not listeners of the show. So
No.
maybe my mom will tell them.
Yeah, I guess that's probably the best way to go about that. But Planet Hollywood denim jacket. Things are good. We were trying to decide what to talk about before show, and you went, at this point, does it even matter? In your
We don't
Ben
do
Stein voice.
Yeah, I have a Ben Stein voice. That's interesting. Some podcasts they just go straight into the show. We've never been that way.
I need to warm up. Yeah,
and I think our show isn't that interesting otherwise. So hopefully the banter. We have 175 episodes in. I think people know what to expect from us at this point.
Yeah. In the words of The Rock in Fast Five, I like my meat and potatoes first, and then I like my damn veggies. So.
Well, I guess these are the meat and potatoes, huh?
Yeah, this is. You mentioned our beef earlier, and that was squashed largely by us not interacting throughout the week. So
We just needed a cool down.
Yeah, sometimes you just get a little too close, and you got to step away. How is your existence these days? I know you're home like everybody else. Life is probably not too much different for you, but you're doing well. You're hanging in there.
Yeah, it's just a new routine of work and the nightly walk to get out of the house, and we wanted to go on what we would call an adventure yesterday, and we just drove to this place called Toasted that has they're like known for their grilled cheeses. They have a bunch of gourmet grilled cheeses and burgers and stuff, and so we just got a burger and a grilled cheese and some fries, and then we ate it in the car because there was nowhere else to eat.
Yep.
It was like a good half-hour drive, so it would have been cold by the time we got home. So it's an adventure. Every day is an adventure. But other than that, not too much else going on.
I love restaurants with names like that,
Toasted.
Or like burnt, crisp. I
There's
feel like,
another one over there called Canvas.
yeah,
Just
of course.
the one.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, the short, like the more like stripped down the title, like probably a lot of exposed brick in there and stuff. Very minimalist. So you probably like that.
Oh, just love it so much. But no, it's good food. They've got. If you're in the Orlando area, I would try that. But other than that,
I try not to be, frankly.
Yeah, I know. But there's a Planet Hollywood.
Ooh, you know what? That's enough to. Next time I come see you, I know where I want to go to eat. I really did love Planet Hollywood, man. I want to go to. I remember I used to always get like a mini pizza, and then I just walk around, look at all the sweet memorabilia. I bought a. No, I didn't buy it. Someone bought me a Planet Hollywood shirt that was red, and it was of like a piece of art that Sylvester Stallone had made and then put on a shirt. So it was like this abstract kind of art on the back of a shirt, and on the front it said Planet Hollywood. So big Stallone fan, always. Big Planet Hollywood fan. The two are forever intertwined. So good memories. Sylvester Stallone is, of course, in this episode of Home Improvement today. That's why I bring him up.
Well, we are going to be talking about best guest stars later, so he'll definitely Sly will get a mention. But that's going to be on YouTube. That's not going to be on this. So we're going to try to do something a little bit different. You know, episode 175 of the podcast, but on YouTube we're just doing new things. So trying out new things. We're going to be doing a short video where we talk about our favorite guest stars or our best guest stars with video.
This is in response to the appearance I made on our friend Sean's show. And
so many people want to see what you look like, and now they want to see what I look like.
Yeah, and you got kind of jealous of that, and you're like, well, if he can get that many views, we can definitely do better, right? That's kind of where it's coming from. Right?
Well, it's funny because in other areas of my life, I'm working on like a content creating collaborative with other people, and from church that have like big YouTube channels and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was just thinking, how could we do that on our channel? And this was kind of the first thing that we've talked about a long time before, but we just never took action. And I think we're just going to see how it goes. It's an experiment.
Quarantine is a time to do things like this. And you know, I don't, you know, I'm not big into the YouTube stuff, but you know, I'm going to let you kind of guide me up the mountain. So I hope you're up for it, big dog.
Well, I think it'll, you know, I've already worked on some of the designs. So we got our thumbnail and we've got our end screens. I do have to make a short, 2-second intro to the video. Just trying to create a cohesive brand.
You lost me at thumbnail, brah.
You're going to hold up your thumbnail to the screen?
What's this? Well, I look forward to that experiment. And remember to rate and review, right? Is that what people say?
Actually, we're going to have those calls to action. Like, subscribe, those ones. So
this is not
different
related
keywords
to YouTube at all, but I don't know why I sort of link the two, but I saw Jet Jurgensmeyer.
I like where this is going already.
He was in the newest season of Ozark for one episode, and he's like a flashback, and he was playing Jason Bateman as a kid, and I was like, is that friggin' Jet Jurgensmeyer playing Bateman? And it was sweet. He had like 2 scenes, but he's growing a little bit.
The thing about Jet Jurgensmeyer is that he just shows up in the most unexpected places.
I know, he's in Milwaukee talking about suspension bridges once. So
I remember.
Yeah, that was like a year ago. Yeah.
And then didn't he have like an album or something he dropped?
Yeah. Surprise album.
Wow.
The best albums are the ones that you don't see coming.
From people you don't even know about.
People you don't know. Those are the ones that end up making the most difference.
And that's why we're going to be releasing an album as well. No.
Yeah, after our YouTube takes off, time to drop that sweet album. All right, let's get into this bad boy.
This is a bad boy, all right. Episode 175, 2001, A Space Odyssey, written by some people we haven't heard from in a while, Bruce Ferber and Lloyd Garver. Yeah. They last did Losing My Religion. If you recall, Randy hangs out at the hospice. Yeah. I think Dan Aykroyd's in that one, right?
Sounds about right, yeah.
All right. This one aired May 12th, 1998. Second to last episode in the season.
Wow.
Whew. Title reference, no surprise. 2001, A Space Odyssey from 1968. Stan the Man, one of your favorites, right?
Hell yeah. Stanley Kubrick. Not to be confused with Quentin Scarantino, who directed some of the Halloween Home Improvement episodes.
Arthur C. Clarke as well. we should say.
Okay.
I actually have not seen the movie or read the book, but I know I would love it. So,
I gotta be honest. We had a conversation about sci-fi. I don't know, a month ago or something, and I need to watch it again because when I watched it, like the first 40 minutes, there's no one says any lines of dialogue. It's just the score and just these technical wonders. So when I watched it, I was probably 18, 19, and it was kind of lost on me. So I need to check it out again. But
yeah, there's a lot of movies that take stuff from this. WALL-E is like this. WALL-E has the opening with no character interaction.
Meet Wally Sparks, the Rodney Dangerfield movie.
I didn't even know that existed, and I'm a Dangerfield fan.
Yeah, you call yourself a Dangerfield head. You've never seen Meet Wally Sparks?
I've always kind of tagged on with your Dangerfield love. And
yeah.
He's okay, but I certainly don't adore him like you do.
Wait a minute. You're telling me this now on air?
No, I mean I'll watch it with you. I'm excited that you're excited, but you certainly know the breadth of his work more than I do.
Well, I mean, at least you've probably seen My Five Wives, right?
No.
Oh my gosh.
I know him mostly from appearances on Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
Obviously Caddyshack and what's the one that Back to School that we love? Yeah. I don't know if I've ever really seen him in anything else.
You ever seen Ladybugs? Coaches girls soccer?
That might be something that I watched when I was much younger, but don't have recollection of. It sounds like something I would have seen.
No, this is an eye-opening conversation for me. But yeah, back to the episode at hand.
You want to talk about alternative titles?
I mean, yeah, I guess I have to. I'm still processing this Dangerfield betrayal.
I'm still processing this episode.
All right. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to say 3, but 4 if I really just want to. I have one that's terrible that I don't know if I'm going to say
I'm in the same position, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a really lukewarm one to lead off with.
Okay.
The Astronut.
Yeah, that's pretty lukewarm. All right, I'll do my similar one. Putting the ass in astronaut.
Yours is better.
Yeah.
All right, get ready for some alliteration here.
Okay.
Picture perfect Papa.
Yeah, okay. Took me a while to figure out. The pictures are just such an integral part of the episode.
I don't know what's in the episode more, astronaut stuff or pictures.
I could have used a picture montage because we definitely get that astronaut montage. All right, I got to do a little voice for this one. Houston, we have a tool man.
Perfect. That wasn't even actual sound effects. You didn't use your soundboard for that, right?
No soundboard. That was just the magic I can make with my lips.
Oh, it is magical. All right. My last one, Mission to Mark.
I like that. I like that because I couldn't do it. I couldn't really come up with I have one, but
okay.
All right, 2 more. This is the one that didn't really work as well as I wanted. I was trying to marry 2 things, and I think closer to a divorce here. But my son, the black hole. I mean, you get what I'm doing. Does it work? Not so well. But.
All right, what's your last one?
Well, it had to be done, so I did it. Backer socks. 'Cause he's back.
Return of Backer socks.
Underwhelming for me, but we can talk about it.
All right. Well, let's talk about it then. We're going to start at home. Jill and Tim have been going through the attic. And they're just finding some great stuff in there, including lots and lots. I mean, so many pictures based on what happens later. But the box seems relatively small. But family photos aplenty. Tim finds an old wig with a cap, and looks like he's from, I suppose, the 1700s or so. Tim thinks this is a bad idea because Jill wants to go through all the photos and kind of make a scrapbook/photo album. She thinks of it as her legacy, which is interesting. But it is certainly a keepsake that she wants to pass on. Tim says the boys would appreciate the keepsake of, cold hard cash or something like that.
Yeah.
He thinks they are heartless. I guess they are teenagers, but maybe they would appreciate it at some point. Jill finds a an interesting framed picture of Tim passing driver's ed, which I wouldn't note, but we just had that episode where Randy passes driver's ed, so I thought that was kind of interesting. And Jill finds an adorable, old, cute photo of the kids, which really, it brought me back to our first days of recording Home and Podcast. And then the current version of the Taylor boys walk in, and they are much less cute and much more strange. I don't know if you want to describe what they look like, but Brad kind of has like a
bucket hat, sort of
bucket
black
hat with sunglasses,
Hawaiian shirt. He looks like
he should be in big trouble.
Did have some major Big Trouble vibes. Yeah, Randy looks normal. Mark is he's goth still.
He's still emo Mark.
They just kind of walk in and they all sort of grunt hey, and they sort of parade upstairs. Did get a laugh from me. I thought it was pretty good visual gag, good timing.
Yeah, and that's the opening scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, next scene, tool time. Prototypes of tools week, I guess.
Tools of the future, I think, is what the banner said. Maybe.
Okay, I didn't catch that.
But they didn't say that, so
they are talking about tools that are so futuristic that they are going to be used in space. So that means a couple friends from NASA. One of them, our old friend Bower Socks, and he's back up to his old tricks, just sort of roasting Tim.
I wrote down Ken is up to his tricks, so
yeah.
I guess he was.
He comes in and he says something like, "Well, Tim is like trying to burn NASA and these astronauts," which is just sort of a joke in and of itself. Like, come on, tool man, stay in your lane. And Bower Socks is like, NASA just sent me here because they like watching me roast your ass, basically. And then there's another guy, Dr. Lee, who is just there because he's horny, I guess. He
said he's just here to meet Heidi, and they move on pretty quickly from that.
Yeah, thankfully. Good thing I didn't pan down. I hate to see what
that would have been bad.
Yeah, that would have been bad. What else we got here? So it's his third appearance. They do call that out. So the third time we see Bower Socks, and I got to see if this is the last. I know we just checked, but I'm wondering if this is the last.
There's no way there's more, right?
You worry that there will be. Let's see here. Bower Socks. He's still alive, so that's good. Pretty slow moving. This is it, Jordan.
Okay. This is our farewell.
This is our... Wait, is it? It's kind of confusing, because there's... it looks like this is it, so we better...
I'm sure we'll be talking more about this when we get into our YouTube video about best guest stars.
Oh, I wouldn't be so sure. Last time I said he was bad, I got in trouble from Patricia Richardson, so I don't know how much more.
That's why we're not doing a worst guest stars.
I guess that would
video.
be kind of mean-spirited. But Bower Socks back, third appearance, last appearance. Binford Tools in space. Not only that, they are going to select one Binford employee to operate the tool in space.
This is kind of the deal, because the tool that they're giving to NASA is free, I guess.
Yeah, if I'm NASA, I'm just paying for that tool, because, I don't know, not a lot of...
Seems like a liability.
Yeah, and you got to train the person for 6 months. I don't know, it seems like a lot of work. Al is congratulates. It's a female commander, Commander Eileen Collins. He salutes her, and then the scene just kind of ends. But we get the feeling that Tim is very interested in going to space, and Al, I guess as well, which sort of to me defied his character a bit. You think so? I mean, he was in the Navy. You're bringing up a good point. All right. I can see it. Okay, next scene. Back at home. There's going to be a lot of, like... Oh, man, we're jumping around a lot. This one. Notes were hard to take. Yeah, I just kind of gave up at some points. Tim comes in, and Jill is still working on the pictures. Tim starts to bring up the space idea. I think he says, like, what would you say if I said I need a little space? And Jill says, how soon can you leave? That got a laugh out of me. I like the sass there. Tim gets serious with the details about training and how he'd be gone for 6 months and all this kind of stuff. And then Jill, she says that's a lot. She gets a little bit scared. What about the kids? They got a lot of big things going on. They're in a very pivotal moment in their life right now, But this is also a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, so she says you have to go. She's working through it just like Tim is, I guess. Mark comes in, curveball here. He's dressed a little bit more preppy. He's not quite full prep that he's going to go later, but he's in more normal attire, I suppose. Pretty preppy, yeah. He looked like he just walked out of the Gap. He walked out of the Gap, and I just about gasped.
I was surprised. I did not see it coming.
Yeah, this is maybe a little bit of an underserved plot point of the episode. Like, I don't know. I felt like this could have been a whole episode in and of itself. I felt, but
yeah, but you gotta match the space stuff with something.
That's true, and why not have it be Mark? All right. Next scene. Oh man, this is gonna be a.
This is where it starts. Yeah, this is where it starts
bear
getting
to describe,
crazy.
but I'll do my best and jump in. Speaking of jumping jacks.
Hey!
Johnson Space Center. This is a montage that goes on for, I don't know, like 4 minutes maybe.
3 hours.
4 minutes, yeah. So I was thinking before we get into this. This is just like. First of all, are all these people doing jumping jacks and training Binford employees?
Are
They have
these
to be,
all Binford employees? Yeah, I don't. You think they would put them in with other future astronaut trainees? You think?
I don't know. I thought they were all Binford employees, but that seems pretty stupid.
It does seem kind of stupid, but also thinking that just Tim and Al, the local TV show people,
Yeah, so that means that just Tim is competing against Al. So like, I guess this is who he's competing.
has to be Binford.
And because he does that bikini babe trick later on, so he's like trying to like.
Yeah, and if they're thinking about like actual astronauts, they would have like destroyed them in the physical exercise stuff.
That's true. And actual astronauts, they're not going to fall for that bikini babe trick. I mean, come on, oldest
They're
trick
too
in the book.
smart.
All right, jumping jacks. Also, this is a waste of somebody's some taxpayer dollars. I gotta say, that was my thought. Montage. They're doing jumping jacks. Tim and Al are throwing medicine balls back and forth, and it sort of devolves into a fight. They're doing some squats later on. They're near the back of the pack.
Al is struggling a bit with the squats.
Yeah, you're talking about him being in the Navy. He must really let himself go because his cardio is not up to snuff in this one.
I think he's more of a marathon man than a sprinter, if you know what I mean.
I don't know what you mean. Okay, so what do we got here? Are they all been? They're running. They're doing the running of laps. Al's very, very slow. So happenstance has it that the Johnson base is right by, like, is it a strip club? Or
I think
like,
it's supposed to be a strip club, but it just says like girls, girls, girls on it.
It looks like a strip shack, sort of. It's just like a small like cottage that's just sort of about 10 feet away from the Air Force Center. I thought that was pretty funny. But Tim, who's getting beat in the race, has an idea, and then we cut to I guess. Do we see the bikini babes? Yeah. So then, like, I don't know, a few minutes later or something, but they're doing the laps, and there's, like, a bunch of girls in bikinis just, like, laying out at the Air Force Base, and all the men in front of Tim stop and sort of gawk or whatever, and then he runs ahead of them and finishes. Classic, it's just
and
classic.
Al comes up further behind, I think, right?
Yeah, you probably like this, right?
Oh, yeah, I loved it. No, this is stupid.
Oh, you were titillated, though, like, let's be honest.
What was the astronaut's name?
Bowersox? Backersocks?
No, the other guy who liked Heidi so much.
Oh, the hornball? I don't know. Yeah.
I'm just hoping that he wasn't here.
He's a big time supporter of that strip club by Johnson Air Force Base. He's keeping it open on his own. All right. Yeah, it's really
let's go inside after they're done with the exercising outside. They go inside. They're working on some like written tests.
Yeah.
First, Tim tries to cheat.
Mm-hmm.
They would have expelled him right then. I don't know. There's a voiceover, Tim voiceover. There's a question about like what is Tim like best or something, and I forget the other choices, but it's like a rampage on a vehicle versus like two other
laying in a meadow or something like
Tim grunts because he's excited about the rampage, but then selects one of the other ones. So,
if I may compliment this episode, I will say Tim looks great in that NASA suit, that bright blue suit, really sharp.
Well, how do you like him in the actual spacesuit?
Well, I mean, I liked him in that too, but I really like the way. Maybe I just like these blue suits. I gotta get one. Go with my jean jacket,
Yeah. Well, they move on to a Rorschach test as well.
Yeah.
Al is taking the test, and everything reminds him of Mother.
This doctor is the least objective doctor I've ever seen. Like the therapist, he's like, what the heck are you saying?
This guy's a weirdo.
Yeah, seems like that would be maybe tainted, that whole study. But yeah, that it's okay. It's not a great gag, but they did it nonetheless.
I mean, there are worse gags. I guess I feel like the girls one is stupider than that. So,
well, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
All right, and then there's a parachute experience here
this is worse than the Rorschach one.
where you have to figure out how fast you can disengage from your chute. Mm-hmm. Tim is dragged by 3 other guys, and it takes him quite a while. And he talks about how the suit is a little snug in the private area. So, ha ha ha.
Because Tim has huge balls. Guess that's the joke.
Is that why? I don't know.
Just massive balls. And then he says at the end, hey, I think you guys took something of mine. His testicles. So, yeah. Classic.
Very classic.
Physical exam. Man.
No, this is classic right here.
In so much as it's been done a lot, or in so much as it's like classically hilarious?
No. Not the latter. Certainly not.
It's a space probe joke. Doctor walks in, Tim's in like a gown, and I don't know what Tim says, but he's
something about a game. He's like, "Oh, you're gonna play some games on the screen," and he's like, "Yeah, it's time to play Space Probe."
Ooh.
And then the doctor, of course, like snaps his, glove.
That doctor also goes over to that strip club a lot. FYI. That doesn't work on the girls though. That trick. Tim is sitting in a seat. They're testing G's. I don't know what G's are. Did you?
Gravity. It's like the gravitational force of Earth.
Checks out. Okay. Wouldn't have got there on my own, but it does make sense. But essentially, it's rotations in the chair. So, Tim is going kind of fast, and they amp it up a little bit faster. And then he's really, really going around in circles.
8 G's.
How many?
8. 8 times the force of Earth.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like that much, but I guess it is. I'm not that impressed. I've done more than that.
Adam's like, I've done 50 Gs.
I mean, I've done 10 in my sleep. The voiceover here is kind of funny because he's going in circles very, very fast, but his voice is coming through very clear. It's just like very obviously recorded. It's like, just very conversational.
It felt that way for the parachute as well.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, it stops and visual gag here. Guys, Tim says, "What's next?" And then we cut to Tim, and his mouth is like coming off the side of his face.
It's like melting.
Yeah, it's like that gag on Conan where they used to like put the guy's mouth up to like was it like Arnold Schwarzenegger generally?
Yeah, and then other like famous people, but I think mostly Arnold.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, but the mouth is like doesn't quite
a random person.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean. It's
your mileage may vary here.
For me it was low mileage. I don't know. I didn't mind any of these in the moment, but as I'm sort of recounting them, I'm realizing just sort of how dumb they all were. Speaking of dumb, Tim is he's in the full suit, and we get a I shouldn't have eaten that burrito joke because he I guess is farting in the suit and it stinks real bad.
A joke they make in the Toy Story 2 outtakes as well. So.
I was surprised that they did not do a single Buzz Lightyear joke in this, as far as I could tell.
Seems like it was low-hanging fruit.
I know, and usually they're very, very willing
They're all about that.
To grab that. But this, maybe because they did one, like, not that long ago, maybe even last episode.
It was like an episode or 2 ago.
Yeah, hey, I might as well do it again. Zero gravity. We get a joke where Al says, "Would I be weightless?" They do that. Tim hits his head on the top of the... I guess simulated space shuttle, and then that's kind of it, right?
Boy, it was a long montage. I thought going through it, I was like, "When is this going to be the rest of the episode?" And there's just not going to be an ending. But mercifully,
What's your favorite gag in those among the great gags you get to choose from? I guess give me. Oof, I don't know. I guess give me the Bikini Babes because it's so stupid and impractical.
I think maybe the Rorschach test.
Yeah, but like I told you, that doctor, he's weighing in too much.
I don't think any of them are particularly good, but yeah, we're back home.
Yeah, go ahead.
Jill and the boys are going through photos now, and Jill as I think is the case with a lot of people here in this situation. They just can't, like, get rid of anything because everything's too precious. Everything reminds them of when the kids were younger, or has memories attached. So it's just a tough task. Mark comes down, I wrote, as preppy as he can be. He's got, like, a sweater on and maybe, like, a collared shirt underneath it, and he's got a blazer.
Yeah.
You talked about Gap earlier. Now he's walking out of the Polo store.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of how you used to dress.
Did it?
Yeah, I mean, except all of those clothes were too big that he was wearing. Like, those are all mediums, and you'd obviously be wearing a small.
We're going back to the sizes conversation, aren't we?
I guess not. Yeah, he looks very preppy. It's a real shock. I mean, it's not as shocking this time because you've already seen it, but it is amplified. If he was prepped before, now he's capital P preppy.
I gotta say, he looks good.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Would I take this look over, like, the
dog collar?
The dark sentenced T-shirt he's wearing later on, and a dog collar and a shaved head? Yeah, 10 times out of 10, give me the prep look. But it doesn't look as comfortable. Although, how comfortable is a dog collar? You don't have a dog, so you can't ask. But I see one walking by now.
Yeah, hard to know. I don't know. They talk about, they didn't mention this before. Mark comes in, but they mention now why the sudden changes. Because Mark has found a girlfriend.
Yeah. You know, I gotta say though, Mark, if you're changing the way you dress for a girl right off the bat, it's probably not gonna work out.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Tim makes that point later, but Tim comes in, he's done with training, and we learn that Tim is now Tim the Spaceman Taylor.
Yeah, I mean, it defies any kind of logic, but of course it was going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, those other people got distracted by the Bikini Babes. What were you going to do?
It was the ingenuity of the Bikini Babe thing that kind of sealed the deal. I think they're like, this guy is willing to win at all costs, and that's just the kind of guy we want in our space shuttle.
Tim was playing chess, and they all were playing checkers.
Yeah, you know it. Yeah, so where are we at here?
They move on to a new scene here.
Yeah, he's talking to the family, and they're excited.
They got a lot of NASA gear for some reason.
Yeah, like toy shuttles and stuff. Jill's a little unsure. It's kind of a short scene, right? That's it.
Everyone's excited for training, and she's like, when's training starting? It's next week, so it's like now he's going to be gone for 6 months. So, yeah, things are moving quicker than she expected. I don't know why. But
yeah. I guess she didn't really think he was going to get it.
Yeah, maybe that was it.
Which is a fair thing to assume, based on a lifetime of memories. I mean, she's going through all these photos, realizing how big of an idiot he is, you know? So when he comes back and says, I'm going to space, yeah, it's kind of a shock.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Later, it's breakfast time. I guess that says something about Binford employees, but anyway, later, it's breakfast time. Mark went on a date.
Yeah.
Randy,
wonder where they went. You think they went to the Italian place everybody goes to?
For breakfast?
No, I mean, he didn't go to the date for breakfast. He went last night, and this is the next morning.
I could go for a breakfast date.
you asking me out?
Maybe.
I mean, I think anybody would go on a breakfast date right now if they could sit in a restaurant. Wouldn't that be great? I mean, you're eating toasted grilled cheese in your car driving 30 minutes. So, yeah, things are a little rough right now, babe.
Babe. Randy questions if this woman, I guess I shouldn't say woman, teenage girl, is real.
Fair question.
It's a fair question.
I questioned it too.
But then we see Mark come down and he's back to his old attire. So everyone's pretty sad.
Was his head was not shaved before, correct?
No, he had nice long locks. So
yeah, you don't want to shave your head if you're Mark. That's strike two. Goth again. Jill says something about Back in Black later, which would have been a good alternative title. Yeah, he got dumped. She didn't like him. He shaved his head. Tim, he feels for Mark, and they have sort of a heart-to-heart here. And we know
I would say a heart to stone cold heart.
Your heart to broken heart, maybe. We know it's serious because the camera zooms in on Tim's face very close. So that's how you know it's a serious scene.
It does take a different turn than the rest of the episode, for sure.
Tim says, hey, you know what? Don't change for anybody. And Mark is just not really having it. He says, you don't know the situation. You don't know me. You don't know anything, which is
Don't
harsh.
know anything about me.
Yeah, it's tough stuff. And then he storms off, and Tim is thinking, "Huh, kids."
Well, and then he looks at a picture of young Mark and realizes that this is a tough moment in his son's life, and so the questioning begins.
Yeah, I mean, as someone that's watched every episode for the last 5 years, I can tell you, Mark's always been kind of strange. So, but I guess he was cuter before.
Yeah, I think they're just.
He's always banged to the beat of a different drum. You know, like even the
a
glasses.
tambourine, if you ask me.
Well, sure. Even the even the glasses thing. You know, like it was cool when Mark did karate, but other than that, you know, like it hasn't been easy for him.
And they talk more about how this is really a pivotal moment in his life, and he thinks there's more to it than just the way he's dressing and stuff. So we'll see if that's played out.
You think? I mean, it's pretty obvious he's going through something, guys. I don't know why it took us a whole season to get there, but
all right, outside with Wilson, I guess we play a clip.
Yeah, it's forgettable, but we'll do it.
What are you doing, Wilson?
Well, Tim, I'm painting my dragon head for the Moomba Festival.
Ah, geez, is it Moomba time already?
Oh, Tim. You know, it's an Australian celebration. I am so excited about it. Probably not as excited as you are about your imminent space voyage.
Yeah, but there's a lot of things around this house that aren't so exciting.
Really? What happened?
Oh, Mark's in a real funk over a girl.
Well, Tim, he is entering adolescence, and if I remember mine correctly, rejection comes with the territory.
But you didn't shave your head.
Actually, I did. But I was living in Tibet, and I wanted to be like the cool kids.
Well, I think Mark's problem's a little more serious. You know, one minute he's a preppy, next minute he's bald. He just yelled at me, said I don't understand him at all.
Whoa. Well, it sounds like your youngest is struggling with his self-image.
While he's struggling with that, I wonder if I should be leaving home.
So you're torn between embarking on the most exciting voyage of your life or staying home and taking care of someone you love.
That's the question.
Well, you might heed the words of Thornton Wilder.
What do you say?
Thornton Wilder said, when one is at home, he dreams of adventure. And when one is on an adventure, he dreams of home.
That doesn't answer any questions.
No, but it does restate it in a very interesting way. I'm sorry, Tim. I mean, giving up the chance to go into space, that would be a big sacrifice. On the other hand, Mark has had a really rough year.
Yes, he has.
It is a difficult decision. Only you can determine how much you need to be here.
Yeah. Well, thanks, buddy. Enjoy your Dumbo Festival.
It's a Moomba Festival.
Mumbo, Dumbo, as long as an elephant flies, it's probably a lot of fun, huh?
So Wilson's painting.
I really sold that clip, didn't I? Yeah, it's forgettable, but yeah, I guess we'll do it.
Well, now we're going to spend more time talking about it. He's painting a dragon for an Australian Moomba celebration, or Mumba. I forget what it was, but
I thought
Tim
it was for Cisco. He's going to paint a dragon so Cisco could unleash it.
Okay. Tim
You
is
love Cisco, come on.
We have talked about Cisco recently, so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you did. I forgot about that.
You were just
Cisco's
making
got to
Cisco
love this free
jokes.
PR. We're giving him.
Someday we're going to find out what he's still doing. I doubt singing.
I'm going
we'll
to click
see.
on one of those articles at the bottom of a website we look at on Homer Podcast and be like, you won't believe what Cisco looks like now.
That's our next YouTube video, also. All right.
Dark secrets of Cisco. Dark secrets of the cast of Cisco didn't want leaked.
What was he in Drew Hill? Is that what he was in before?
I don't know.
Oh boy. Somebody's gonna tell us. Nobody's gonna tell us.
There's
I don't think there's a crossover between Cisco fans and Home and Podcast fans. I really don't.
Well, yeah, seems unlikely.
All right. Well, Tim is excited about his trip, but shares about his concerns with Mark. Wilson says he's obviously struggling with self-image, but he doesn't really have great advice because this is a very personal matter of which only Tim can decide what he needs to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So.
Tim also mentions like he lost his. I don't know if it was this scene or the last scene, but
Next scene.
Oh, the next scene. Okay, about how he. Well, we'll save it for them then. Next scene. Tim's looking at the album. Jill enters, and we come to find out he finished it up. So he took care of that work for her. He decides that he's not going to go to space. He's worried about Mark. It's a very pivotal time, and so on and so forth. For all the boys, he lost his father when he was young, and he wished that he had a male figure to talk to at this point in his life. So he just thinks it's too important to go away. And that's basically, that's that. There's not any real hemming and hawing. Jill, asks him if he's sure, gives him a hug, and so on and so forth. But he makes the difficult decision not to go to space.
Yeah, it's Tim's thinking a lot about his family here. He says I think there's a couple of funny lines in the scene. He says it's not a good time for him to leave the planet, which I thought was just kind of a funny way to phrase it. He also Jill's first response when he says he's not going is this about the cars? I promise. Like, she's saying I'll take about the cars, and I thought that was kind of funny too. Tim, and it's not just about Mark. I don't, the hot rod with Brad, fly fishing with Randy, and Jill says, yeah, Brad's going to be going to college soon. So that's a theme we've heard multiple times, the Brad going to college soon thing. So it's coming up before we know it. And that's the end of the scene, like you said. We get a final scene here where Tim and Jill are talking about it again. And Tim is kind of like trying to move on at this point, or claiming to try to move on, because when he comes in to the frame, he's got like his NASA outfit on, and he's struggling to let go. And he says he needs Tang ASAP.
Yeah, instant Tang. Is that because astronauts drink that? Is that the joke?
Yeah.
Not a very good one, but we'll roll credits, fade to black on 2001: A Space Odyssey, aka
Mission to Mark.
Backer socks. Jordan,
Adam,
I'm loading up my space shuttle, and I'm taking it down to Castle's Corner, and I want to know, what are your highs and lows?
Man, it's interesting.
a real mixed bag, I gotta say.
It really is.
Yeah.
I actually like the premise of it. I like the astronaut stuff. I like Mark kind of going back and forth. Like, I was genuinely intrigued about what happened to Mark, which I don't think either you or I say that very often. So,
it's maybe one of the first times since he got glasses. Did that spin?
So that was intriguing. I don't know that the astronaut stuff ends up working. It's really long. The montage is really long. The gags don't end up being as funny as I think they are.
That's definitely true.
For as bad as we think Bowersox is, I guess he's probably like okay.
Oh, I don't think so, Jordan.
I mean, I just don't really like the whole gag stuff that they do. He's not in it very much, so I don't know. He can't screw up too much, but I like Tim here as the family man. I like the turn that he takes as a character, as far as thinking about his family, thinking about his kids during this time. And if you think about it, he would be gone for a very long time during very crucial parts of his kids' lives. And I don't know. I like that character turn. I just don't know that it's executed that well, unfortunately. So, like you said, it's a mixed bag for me.
Yeah. Highs. I guess I kind of always, there's some serious construction going on outside my place, so sorry for any beeping or whatever you might hear in the background, but craziness. I like it when they go to new places. That is not a new thing for me to say, but so like he goes to the Johnson Air Force Base or wherever they film it. I do like seeing characters in new places, so that's always a little bit exciting for me. And I do think the idea of him going to space is an interesting one. And I mean, it's sort of the suspension of disbelief is, you have to get there because, like, a Binford employee going to space is pretty stupid. But, like, I don't know. In the context of Home Improvement, like, it seems pretty fitting. This is sort of a side note, but I was thinking about how, like, a character going to space is, like, such a jump the shark moment for a show. I was thinking as I was watching it, like, very...
It is true.
Yeah, very on the nose. There were some good jokes. I like the opening scene where they're looking at the baby, or not baby, but a photo of the boys when they're very young, and then they walk in and they're older and kind of dressed funnily, silly, and just sort of grunting, and that was funny. There are a couple good jokes in there, but like you said, more often than not, like the space gags, most of those don't work. Like, really, none of them worked real well for me. You mentioned that the Al talking about his mother stuff was funny, and that was okay, but none of them worked very well. The Mark plot is, for a Mark plot, pretty good, I guess, but to me it felt kind of underserved. Like, I would have liked to have seen an entire episode built around that, so we could have gotten more details. It's just sort of open-ended at the end, like he's just mad at his dad. But I guess that's maybe real life. Like, not everything's going to wrap up exactly when you want it.
Maybe this is a thread we're going to see into season 8.
It could be. I did like that idea. So, I mean, I'm trying to think. Beyond that,
it was, if you recall, when they did, like, the Halloween episode, and they were talking about, well, I guess this is just the way Mark is.
Yeah.
They kind of brushed it off, and we thought it was kind of strange, I guess. So maybe it's nice to see that come back in a way that makes more sense. Not
much for Brad, not much for Randy. Al's presence down at the Johnson Air Force Base is not, I don't know, necessary really. It's a weird episode. I don't know. It's like I didn't mind it. I guess it's middle of the road for me. It takes some big swings, I would say, and doesn't really connect, but I appreciate that they tried. I don't know.
And gold star for you.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't. It's tough.
It's better.
It's
okay, let me say this. It's better than any of the other episodes I can think of where they, like, when he went to the military base. It's better than that one. It's better than when he went to, like, he was on the boat. It's better than that one. So it is better than a lot of these episodes we get where he goes on location to whatever, work with military personnel. Like, it's definitely the best of those. So I'll grant it that.
Yeah, I agree. All right. With that, let's move on to the social media aspect of the show.
Yep. Okay.
If you'd like to reach out to us, go to thehomeandpodcast.com, Facebook and Twitter at Home and Podcast. Go to YouTube and find us on there. We're going to be putting up a video, as we talked about the best guest stars and hopefully some more content. Subscribe there. And if you'd like to get some bonus podcast episodes, including
bonus?
bonus. First Kid is going to be coming up soon on Patreon.
Yeah,
so
when?
it's a mystery. Patreon.com/Home-and-Podcast.
All right.
Adam, what's going on Twitter?
You want me to talk Twitter? tweet, little birdie. Let's do it. All right.
Tweet.
Zachary Ty Bryan tweeted, checked in with JTT today. Me, how you holding up with this quarantine, bro? JTT. Z, I've been quarantined since Home Improvement ended. Touche, Johnny, touche. Classic back and forth between the TV brothers. A lot of Wilson social distancing memes.
Like, low-hanging fruit there.
OG social distancing. I don't know. My mom sent it to me like a month ago, so if you guys are this far behind my mom, then shame on you.
We're in trouble.
All right, got a lot of polls. Pollapalooza. Here we go. Whoa, hey. Don't get so upset about it.
She hates your polls.
Hey, and I hate them too. All right, so I did a lot of polls like this. You're quarantining with Mark Taylor. What do you talk about? 24 total votes. 12.5% said Rob Zombie. 20.8% said The Crow movie. 25% said Ronnie's likes and dislikes. 41.7% said that time he got glasses. Hey, Mark, what up? Tell me about that time you got glasses, though.
He would not be receptive to that conversation, I don't think.
You're quarantining with Brad Taylor. What do you talk about? 33 total votes. 6.1% said types of cheese. 18.2% said his friend Jason. 36.4% said the NFC North. 39.4% said stone cold babes.
Well, that one seems more on the nose to me.
You're
Seems
quarantining
more
with Randy Taylor.
What do we talk about?
26 total votes. 3.8% said Walter Cronkite. 19.2% said chat rooms. Tie for first between global warming and that old woman he liked with 38.5% each.
Wait, that old woman he liked? Is
Yeah,
that
the
the
one
woman
that
from the
died.
hospice? Okay.
Yeah.
Yikes. I like Walter Cronkite a lot. I know it didn't get a lot of votes, but
Shot in the dark. You're quarantining with Al Borland. What do you talk about? 32 total votes. 6.3% said his mother. 15.6% said dating in Detroit. 25% said Houghton Lake Cabins. And 53.1% said Tim's mishaps. His mother should be higher.
yeah, probably should be number. I mean,
Maybe
even if
that's
you
just
try
like
to talk
people
about other things.
don't want to talk about that, so they are,
Yeah. The problem is he's going to bring it in.
You're quarantining. I can't do the voice anymore. You're quarantining with Jill Taylor. What do you talk about? 33 votes. 12.1% said good recipes. Ooh. 24.2% said the Colonel. Oh, hey, coronavirus. You want to talk about me? 27.3% said Freud. 36.4% said smoking weed.
More Colonel talk, please.
Hey. Last but not least, Tim the Tool Man. What are you going to talk about? 11.1% said having lame brothers. 18.5% said Polish sausage. 33.3% said Bob Vila hatred. 37% Tool Time secrets.
Oh, I want to know those secrets. How many people voted in the Tim Taylor one?
27.
Oh, okay. It seemed like it was like 33, 33, 32. I was wondering if the same people were just waiting to take all these polls.
I don't know.
Pollapalooza.
Yeah, who knew? But yeah, that's it. I mean, there's some other stuff, but that's long enough. So you want to follow us and have fun polls like that, do so, please.
Wow. I mean, it was fun just hearing about them, so I can't imagine what happens in real time. You want to talk about next week? Because I don't think we have anything in the mailbag.
Nothing worth sharing in the mailbag. Next week, what are we covering? And I know... Well, just tell me what we're covering, and then I'll say what I know. How's
Do you
that
know
work?
Do you know some Tool Time secrets?
Yeah, 37% of listeners said they'd like me to talk about them.
All right. The season finale of season 7 is going to be from top to bottom.
Wow.
It's got 6.5 out of 10.
That's bad.
That's bad on IMDb.
that's
IMDb
pretty
gets
bad.
like a minimum 7.5.
That's pretty bad. So from top to bottom, somebody's moving rooms or some shit. We'll also get our season 7 in summation coverage. So you listen to the show, you know what that means. That means favorite episodes, least favorite episodes, guest stars, other stuff. I never remember what we do with those. And we do them every 6
We always
months.
have to listen to
I always
them.
have to re-listen to the last one to get a refresher, but I do like them. There's something satisfying about closing out an episode closing out a season. In season 7 was
A roller coaster.
Interesting one, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like something we've never seen before in Home Improvement.
I mean, they're trying to send Tim to space, for crying out loud. So yeah, things are a little bit wacky, but I look forward to that. And yeah, like Jordan said, I don't know when this YouTube stuff's going to happen or if it's going to happen, but yeah, you can look for it. If it doesn't get more than 3,000 views, Jordan's going to be really mad and jealous about the other things. So
We're going to have to share and retweet everywhere.
And if I say anything controversial, I'll just delete it in like a year. So
Even if you don't, you're just going to anyway.
and I'll just
If you don't even like your if you don't like your denim jacket, you're going to delete it.
even if I don't, I'll just worry that somehow something I said can be construed that way. All right, listeners, thank you for listening. Jordan, thank you for joining. I guess I should say take care.
Take care, everybody.